Alright, we are going to be installing the exhaust on the G35. We have some stuff that we need to do first by taking off the front bumper, moving some of the intake stuff, just making some clearance. Getting under the car, removing the old stuff. We're probably not going to go into extreme detail with this because we're interested in getting work done.
Yeah. And with the intake that I installed on it, you have to basically dismount the entire front bumper to get to it. To properly take it out, and we just need extra clearance around here, so I need to take off the front bumper to properly demount the cold air intakes so then we don't damage them when we have proper parts clearance to be able to get to all the studs.
Yep.
So that's a fun first job to do, but also means, hey, cleaning out the filters is always good.
It'll be nice to clean out everything that we have because you installed these probably like
about
how many thousand miles ago?
Can't tell you, I can't remember.
Yep.
I know that I installed the cold air intake.
We could also clean up the tubes too. They're kind of dirty.
Yeah, they need cleanup on them.
Yep. I'm also doing replacing the water pump on my Mustang, putting in Edelbrock high flow one, get a new 170 degree thermostat, and doing a coolant flush. I'm not having any type of cooling issues, but just in the interest of getting a bit more timing out of it, I'm going to see if that helps. And it's a good upgrade for down the road because the water pumps and alternators, they run into problems at higher horsepower, higher RPM, so getting something that works a little bit better. Also, it's a little bit less parasitic loss, so should be a good upgrade for it. We haven't shown the exhaust yet, but we got... Instagram. Oh yeah, on Instagram we have it. But we have some ISR test pipes, so cat delete. We have ARK Performance GRiP cat back exhaust. And then we have some DC Sports ceramic coated headers. So we will, next time we have an update, I will pick up there. Alright guys, made some progress. We got the rest of the, or I guess the cat backs completely off. We have some photos of the new stuff, but it all looks very pretty. Alright, finally got the passenger side exhaust manifold off. Took a little bit. Clearly the driver's side is going to be a bit harder, but we got everything disconnected and we're going to pull it out from the bottom, compare it to the new stuff. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Oh yeah. It's a boy.
Oh god! It's a V6!
I'll sit here with them until
Okay. Sunlight.
So I think that's going to be it for today then.
Yeah, well, let's compare to that. Also, to remove the heat shielding, we kind of had to bust it a bit.
Yeah, so on
let's go grab the header and compare them.
These screws for this heat shield were so freaking rust welded on, and they just got so much heat that they just fused onto it.
One thing we learned about this car is it's rusty AF under here.
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not really get under to check, but the rust isn't bad where it's everything needs to be replaced. Basically, what was really bad on this was the exhaust. And I knew since the day we got it, or since the day that I looked at it, that there was some kind of exhaust leak on it. It just wasn't throwing a code yet. And on the passenger side cat, it was actually so rusted, even worse than the driver's side, that there was an actual hole in it, and there was a shit ton of stuff just loose in the cat itself.
Creating a bunch of rattles and whatnot.
Yeah, so it was a good thing that we're replacing basically the entire exhaust system. I mean, the heads still looked okay. They just got a lot of heat. The cat backs, they were pretty rusted too. There was a few holes in it. This car has about 119,000 miles. I bought it at 109 about a year, or just over a year and a half ago. So it's I mean, for what it is, it's just mainly the exhaust just needed to be replaced on it.
That's for more flow right there.
Yeah, it's high flow.
They're high flow headers, but
so here's the new ones, ceramic coated DC Sports headers. Definitely a lot longer and thicker, so should be good. Also, there's no gaping hole in them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to have this little hole back here for.
That's high flow though.
It's high flow.
Yeah. So that's actually part of where the heat shield actually was a stud on it. That wasn't.
Where's the? Yeah, this is the bit right here. The heat shield. If you're
Yeah.
twisting
So I've been on a lot of forums for the exhaust manifolds for these. Basically, everybody says that if you can get the screws off, it's a bitch.
All right, let's see it.
While with the
these are super smooth on the inside.
Well, if you can't get the screw off or if it strips, just freaking take a pry bar to it and break it off since you're changing out the heads anyway, or the exhaust manifolds anyway.
See, the outlets, like, they're pretty big, but then it immediately it goes smaller.
Yeah, you can't
These,
really
you
get
don't have
light
that
on
problem,
it.
though.
They're just super smooth and low resistance. They're just going to be very high flowing. It's going to sound great. You could reuse these.
What?
No.
Look, you got 2 for the price of 1.
Yeah, so these are the ones. These are the
OE ones.
The Malay. So these are actually the OE ones, the Malays. I tried getting these ones. These ones, to get new ones, they cost about $24 to $27 a piece, depending on who you buy them from. I talked to the local dealer. They would have to sell them to me for $37 a piece, while you can go ahead and get the Felpros. And everybody says that the Felpros do just fine. They're just as good as the Malays. And the set that I bought was $17, and I got both of them, rather than paying
good.
$24 for just one.
Looks good on the car, Isaiah.
You got it, boy. Yeah.
I just can't see with one.
Yeah. You lift it up a bit. There we go.
On the studs?
Yep, they're on.
Hell yeah. That'll be okay.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Dude.
That looks freaking sick.
That is awesome.
Also, that looks like, also without the heat shielding, it takes up a shit ton less room.
Yeah, it takes up less room. They're ceramic coated, so they'll be good with heat. You shouldn't put your engine cover back on so you can see those.
Yeah, well, no, even with the engine cover, it doesn't cover that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can still see it. It only just covers basically just everything up here, because
Gotcha.
it's all a freaking mess.
That's awesome. Yeah, we're gonna have no trouble getting everything on here, and yeah, the assembly for headers is like so fast compared to taking everything apart.
Yeah,
Like,
so we're still working on the driver's side. We're gonna stop for today because I have to go take care of a few appointments. What we're having trouble with right now is the knuckle for the steering column.
yeah.
Basically on this, what you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to loosen the top bolt of the knuckle.
So you can see it right there, that blue bit. That is the steering elbow. It's where the steering shaft up to the steering wheel connects. We disconnected it from the bottom and loosen the top, so we're just trying to knock it upwards. We've sprayed some WD-40 on it, trying to loosen it up. We're still having trouble with it, but that's what we need to get some clearance. And then the driver's side, we still have the heat shielding down here to remove, and then same thing, just all the studs, and then we'll remove it just the same as the other side.
Yeah, so everything should go a lot quicker as soon as we get the other head out, because it's as soon as we drop it, it's just got to clean off the area, take the old gasket off, put in the new gasket, put in the new head, bolt it all down, get it all to torque spec, then just get the steering column back on properly, get it aligned, torque it down, and then we can go back to the passenger side, torque everything down there too.
Good job, boy. You did a good job, boy.
And then basically we're pretty much set because we don't have to do any more upper work on this. We don't have to do anything past the test pipes, and bolting on the test pipes should go pretty quick because we have all new bolts. We're not having to reuse anything. We have new gaskets.
We've just been fighting all the rust. It's been tough.
Yeah, unfortunately with this, I mean, every exhaust that you're getting rid of that's original after 100,000 miles, you're always going to have to deal with rusty bolts. This has probably been quite a nightmare dealing with already, just because we've had to use angle grinder. I mean, that's pretty common to have to use on exhaust whenever you're changing it out.
Yeah, it hasn't been super detailed, but so far all we did was remove the catback. We had to cut some parts because they're just too rusted on. The manifolds have 3 studs connected to catalytic converters right here. There's 2 on one side and then 1 on the other.
And on this,
We actually broke
Don't
one
touch that!
off.
Don't touch that!
it's just
really hot.
it's warm. It's not hot. It's okay. So on this one, we actually broke off one of the bolts,
Yep.
and
Actually helped us.
yeah, it actually helped because then we could just slide it right off. But I mean, everything else on this went okay. It was just kind of clearance issues. What we had to do was basically use about 2 12-inch extensions for it, or like my 3-foot, along with a 14 mil.
Yeah, just use a lot of extensions.
On one of them, which I believe was the bottom one where we had the most amount of clearance. Basically, this is how it's oriented. It's supposed to be oriented. So we were able to get that bottom one out very easily. This one right here, basically that's nearest to the passenger side, the upper. That one actually came up pretty easy too. We just had to use the 3-foot extension
that was
on
one
it.
that broke.
Yeah, so this is actually the one that broke, which is fine because you don't have to we're not planning on reusing these heads at all.
Well, clearly after busting this one.
Well, yeah, well, this was completely not reusable. And then on this side, the stud for this sits on the back side. The clearance on it's pretty bad. You can still get at it with two 12-inch extensions. Basically, the 3-foot for how high we had the car up wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
But it still came out just fine after a little bit of torquing. I mean, we had to use Vince's strength and my own to bust it.
We were busting some nuts.
Yeah, we were busting some major nuts yesterday. But yeah, I mean, it getting the head off actually wasn't the hardest part of this. What was so far is the cat back, just for how rusted it was. I couldn't disassemble it to drop it. I had to cut 2 of them. I had a lot of bolts just bust on me, which is okay. Because of it just then dropped right then. I mean, so far it's been an okay project, a little bit longer than what we were expecting, but I mean, anytime you're doing any kind of exhaust change, you have to already plan that you're going to be using double your time.
It took Vince how long to get his exhaust done?
A full week.
Like a full week, me helping. Like I counted, I helped like over 20 hours. And my exhaust took 3 days to do entirely. And so far, the exhaust for my Mustang's actually been pretty similar to this one, although I did have to lift my engine about 1 inch and drop the motor mounts. But yeah, so far it's actually looking even more simple for this one. If it weren't for all the rust, we'd have an easier time. Got a couple Skittles in here.
Also, you got to watch out for all these little Skittles. I mean, on these Infinitis, they're just known for being all over the engine.
Yeah.
But you know what? They're fucking delicious.
Alright, we are pulling out the last exhaust manifold here. Let's see how easy we're able to get it out. It is kind of cramped. Took forever in the last one, but made it work. There you go. Perfect. Yeah, lift it up. There you go. Perfect. Good job. Yes! Everything's off. That only took way too long.
Yeah. Heck yeah, guys.
Yeah. Freaking finally. That took very, very, very long, but
luckily, I was able to get some tools from work, and we were able to make it go a lot quicker.
yeah, I got a new ratchet and
So once again, I think the hardest thing about this that's just been making this so difficult to do is just all the heat shielding
and rust.
and then clearance and then rust.
Yep.
But mainly the heat shielding, I feel like, has been the main like blockade in this.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it much, but the last heat shielding on the driver's side, we literally had to like bust up and cut up and like, you know, just to get it out.
It's exactly what we did on this side too. Like you can see where they basically tack weld them on, basically some studs to put the heat shielding on. Honestly, in my opinion, it's not a good design. They probably should have just done some kind of ceramic header anyway, instead of just putting heat shielding on.
They probably didn't even need it, to be honest.
I mean, honestly, they probably didn't. I mean, they do have a lot of wires that run right by it, so that's probably why they did it. But the ceramic header should basically keep the temperature down around everything else that's going right by it. But in my opinion, not a good design, especially after probably somewhere about 70,000 miles where these have seen so much heat.
This car came from the salt belt, too.
Yeah, unfortunately it did. I mean, so far it's been...
It's really just the exhaust. Everything underside the car is good. It's just the exhaust is rusty as hell.
The only other thing that I've noticed that's pretty bad, but it doesn't seem like it's eaten through yet, is basically this subframe bar right here.
Yeah, it does have a little bit of...
And it basically where it connects to is this side of the body, connects to basically part of the control arms, the lower control arms. Then there's 2 bolts over here that connect to the other part of the subframe. Yeah. So most likely I'm going to be changing that out if I can ever find a piece for it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I can, but it's probably going to be a pretty expensive piece to find. But right now, there's only one portion of it that's, you know, giving me an issue, or I think it's going to be an issue down the road. But I mean, that's the only thing under it right now that seems like a problem.
So we're going to get the headers on. Well, I guess we need to take the O2 sensors off these exhaust manifolds and
I already have
transfer
one
everything.
of them off, I think.
And then we should put the test pipe on, connect them, and then I think we should fire it up at least once.
Yeah, we'll do that.
All right, we'll see you guys once we have some more progress. All right, we got everything set up. Here is the ISR test pipe, so it's cat delete up here. You can see it. There is the driver's side exhaust manifold. We just got everything put back together. Enough clearance for the steering rack, everything. So one of the things about this project is it's a G35xS, so it's all-wheel drive. So here is the drive shaft to the rear transfer case. Can't really get a great angle under the car, but everything fits under here. I don't see any clearancing issues at all with it. It pretty much is the size of the stock exhaust manifolds, but I'm thinking even long tube headers might fit under here, but the company that does it says it probably won't. They haven't tested it, so but we're still thinking it probably won't, but looking at it, it might be close. It might be worth a shot at some point for somebody to try it, but I've never heard anything concrete about it. But we are going to fire it up. Well, we're going to get the intakes on real quick, just open headers and see how it sounds.
Sweet.
Damn, that's awesome.
Holy cow, dude.
It's so loud. Alright, so you just saw a clip of us running this thing with open headers. Sounds super loud. We still need to get the cat back on, but for all intents and purposes, it's
We're pretty much
done. Yeah.
I mean, for it being a weekend project and there being a lot of issues with...
Well, it's Tuesday today.
Yeah.
Started
Well, I
Saturday.
mean, we started on Saturday. We only really did... We did about like 8 to 10 hours of work on Saturday, basically removing the exhaust. I mean, we got the header off to, or the driver's side exhaust manifold off today on Tuesday. This is probably at like what, 16 hours of work now?
Yeah, once we got the header off, I mean, we got both new exhaust manifolds on and test pipes and wired on and the intake. That only took us like an hour after we got everything off. So putting everything together will be a lot faster than removing it.
Yeah, pretty much like the longest point in time in doing this project, or the thing that took the longest, was messing with the steering column.
Yeah, the steering shaft took so long.
On this, for some reason, it was clamped down so hard.
And rusted. And
I mean...
Not rusted, but it was just like...
There was just a lot of dirt buildup, a lot of stuff just got in between it, so it took us, about a day to mess with it.
We can show you that we have the wheel off still.
Yeah. So, right here is the steering column knuckle.
Where it's the blue and whatnot.
So what you need to do is that you need to fully remove this bottom screw. There's another screw up here that actually goes to the column. This is the knuckle. And you'll need to loosen it.
Loosen the top
Not
one.
take it out all the way, though, because you need to take this entire unit and slide it up. What we had to do is that we took a pry bar, which, I mean, we're jury rigged garage, so it doesn't matter.
There you go. See that bottom bolt? That bottom bolt is what needs to be removed. And then the bolt up there, that top one, just needs to be loosened. And then you can see in the center, that little nub, that is part of the steering shaft. The whole elbow will remove upwards, but we had tons of problems with it. It took a crowbar, it took lots of heat and WD-40, and
Yeah, it probably took about a quarter of a can of WD-40,
and
some
took like
PB penetrant.
like
and
2 hours of us working on it, honestly.
Yeah, that was probably the longest, basically, wall that we had to face the entire project. I mean, putting on the two exhaust manifolds, I mean, the driver's side obviously took the longest amount of time just because of working with just the clearances. I mean, the steering column was still getting in the way. What we recommend is waiting to put the O2 sensors in until after you get the exhaust manifolds in, because it really is a major clearance issue. I mean, the passenger side went in almost without any issue. Driver's side,
also,
just be cautious about it and just take your time on it.
A couple of the lower header bolts we couldn't really get to very well, so they're not all super tight, but in my experience with exhaust and headers and whatnot, you just need to get them just pretty tight and it'll be fine. Like, if we hear any exhaust leaks, I mean, we'll reassess it, but I don't expect any.
Yeah, I mean, and getting the test pipes on was easy on this. I mean, everything about this assembly so far has been so easy. And then what we did for those test pipes is that we went ahead and put the bolts going in from bottom top, because the nuts themselves are locking nuts.
Yeah,
so if you go ahead and put them down, as soon as they touch down on the exhaust manifold, you can just crank it with an impact, and that nut's not going to move. It's going to sink down further. So it makes it easier, so then you don't have to try and come from up here with an extension or trying to F around with it. And then also it's going to be easier for removal too, just to break it loose. Because those nuts are not going to want to move.
Can't really see much in there with
you might be able to see it
intake and-
more on this side.
You can see the bolts up there. Yeah, so the nuts are facing us right now. The bolts are, you know, on the opposite side. So the lock nut washers, or I guess the locking nuts, go on that side, and it'll just bite down on the plate when you impact it on the other side. And it just makes it super easy to get the test pipes on. Yeah.
All right. I mean, we're pretty much done. I mean, tomorrow we're probably going to do about an hour to maybe.
Tomorrow and Thursday, and then we're actually driving to the beach, and we'll see how this does at the beach.
So this has been a stressful experience because I really wanted to get this done to take you to the beach.
Yep.
I really should have probably given about another 2 weeks in advance to probably.
No,
work
it'll be
on it.
fine.
But I mean, it's going to run fine. I mean, it turned on fine. Check engine light didn't come on so far.
Yeah, once we got the intakes on, like we had a clip earlier that I think we're going to put in, I don't know. Basically right when we just had the old exhaust manifolds and the catalytic converters, we tried firing it up, and it died, but that's just because the MAFs were unplugged. And
yeah, we are just running open throttle bodies, and that's a big issue.
Well, we had filters on there.
No, he didn't. I didn't put those on yet.
No, Tristan did. We put our cone filters on both.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
There's still some filtration for the 3 seconds it was on.
Yeah. All right, so we got about 2 hours of work maybe tomorrow.
Yeah.
I say less than that to get the cap back on.
And then we have to clean the freaking garage.
And then we gotta clean this freaking garage and break down everything. Oh, and then I still gotta put on the front bumper, which is probably about 30-40 minutes of work. But
yeah, well, it'll be ready for Thursday, the beach. Yep, all in the process. It'll be fun. All right, see you guys.
All right, see you guys later.
All right, well, we just got everything all put together. Isaiah is just getting his front bumper back on. Let's just go show you the exhaust real quick. Noise. You turn it off? Yeah, you're probably just getting warning light because no cats.
Yeah.
Which that'll be tuned out once you get your tune. Alright, well, just wanted to show you the quick clip. We gotta get out of here, and we got it done. We just gotta get the bumper back on. It'll be ready for the beach tomorrow.